gotta get out of here! You're doing it wrong!
Did you spot that? SpongeBob's eyes were little black dots when he jumped on Patrick's back, but when he ends up under him, his eyes are normal blue circles again. Here are 26 mistakes you missed in SpongeBob. First up on our list is Reef Blower. Although this is a short episode and no one says a word, it still has some mistakes. The first thing Squidward does is fix a flower by his front door. But later in the episode, the flower and its pot have disappeared and it doesn't make a reappearance. There is another mistake with Squidward's front door too. There's never been a step by his front door, but he's sitting on one at the end of the episode. This episode has a lot of things disappearing on us. Check out this clip. The first floor window on the side of SpongeBob's house is there in the first scene, but it's gone in the next one. It's also not there in this scene. So maybe the error isn't the fact that it's missing, but that it shouldn't have been there to begin with. You'll never guess what the next mistake is. Yep, something disappearing. In this scene, Squidward is on a hammock. But in the next scene, when Squidward is eating, the hammock and the corals holding it are nowhere to be found. The next episode we're looking at is the sister episode to the previous one, called Tea at the Treedome. This is a great one, and I'm sure you'll recognize these scenes, not only from the episode, but from memes as well.
I don't need it! I don't need it!
I need it!
What kind of place is this?
While this is such a great episode, there are a few mistakes that you may not have noticed. So let's check them out, starting from the beginning of the episode.
Wow, 4 stingers.
This mistake was a quick one, but it happens a lot across all the seasons. When SpongeBob puts the binoculars away, he leans over and both his teeth turn yellow. You don't even need to slow this clip down, it's that noticeable. It's good for our amusement, but not good for the creator's reputation. The next mistake happens soon after. Watch SpongeBob's belt.
Here it is. Land squirrel. That little squirrel is in trouble.
Did you see it? His entire belt is there, but when he pulls out the book, the right side of his belt disappears on us. When SpongeBob goes over to Sandy's Treedome for the first time, he goes through these doors where the water gets drained. There's a big flashing red light and everything. But when Squidward and Patrick first approach Sandy's Treedome, look at the top there, where the red light is supposed to be. It's not there until they get closer. Another weird mistake occurs with Sandy's Treedome. Never before have we seen any grid lines on it, but in this one scene of SpongeBob bouncing off the top, there are suddenly grid lines for whatever reason. Why are they there? Where did they go? Next up is Naughty Nautical Neighbors, and the mistakes start pretty early on in this one.
Congratulations, Chef.
Did you see that? It might help to watch it slowed down. But when Squidward tosses his clothes, he tosses his apron, 2 pairs of socks, and his brown shirt. But if you look closely, you'll see the brown shirt twice. Also, since when did Squidward wear socks? Have we ever seen him wear them? Speaking of socks, watch SpongeBob's socks in these 2 clips.
Hi, Patrick. Patrick, what are you talking about?
SpongeBob, I no longer wish to know you.
In the first scene, the error is more subtle. The blue strips on SpongeBob's socks disappear for a second. But in the second clip, both strips disappear for a while and randomly reappear as SpongeBob moves. This next error happens with SpongeBob as well.
Yeah, Patrick, we're friends. Just friends. I love music.
Ah, who needs them? They're no fun anyway, right, Gary? Gary?
SpongeBob's eyelashes are acting weird in this scene. They aren't there at first, and while he's talking to Gary, his eyelashes appear, then vanish, then reappear again. Also, did anyone else notice how small Gary looks? This is one of the older episodes, but he's still looking really tiny compared to other episodes in Season 1.
So this is what I find, huh? My best friend and my ex-best friend and rubber bath toys!
Did you see what happened to the sailboat in the scene? It's just sitting there, floating casually, but around the time SpongeBob says, "so," it flashes, briefly becoming transparent. At the end of the episode, Squidward makes the mistake of leaving SpongeBob and Patrick alone. When he comes back to his house, he's carrying a grocery bag and a ring of keys. The next time we get a shot of his feet, there's no bag or keyring. Next is the sister episode to Naughty Nautical Neighbors called Boating School. If you know anything about SpongeBob besides the fact that he's a sponge, then you know that he is incapable of getting his boating licenses.
Now, what do you do next?
Floor it?
Yes. No! Don't floor it!
Floor it?
No! Don't floor it!
Okay, floor it!
Oh, SpongeBob! Why?
The first error we'll be taking a look at here happens with Mrs. Puff. She puts on the helmet, not taking any chances when it comes to SpongeBob. It barely covers her head, but that changes later on where it fits better and covers most of her hair. Also, right after this scene, we catch a glimpse of the obstacle course, but none of that appears when SpongeBob starts driving. Try to spot the object that disappears in this next scene.
I've got too much to worry about.
What's the problem?
I can't pass my boating exam.
SpongeBob slides down the big slide to get into the library, and you can see the black chair next to it. But when he walks up to the chair and sits in it, the slide should have been visible, but it's gone. SpongeBob holds up a hand, and he clearly has 4 fingers here. But when Patrick puts the cowboy hat on his head, his right hand has 5 fingers instead of 4. Throughout a good portion of the episode, the number 18 appears on the side of the boat. You can even see it here as they drive. But when they pull up to the stop sign and beyond that, the number is gone. This next mistake is a little weird. When Patrick runs out of SpongeBob's house, the house is missing a window. But that isn't the weirdest part. On the left side of Patrick's rock, there's a blue line around it. And the last episode we'll be taking a look at for the day is this fan favorite called Pizza Delivery. You'll no doubt recognize these iconic scenes.
Frosty Cray, pizza is the pizza, yeah, for you and me.
That's just a stupid boulder.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
Gotta love those iconic scenes. This is a much-loved episode, but unfortunately, it isn't perfect. So let's see what mistakes were made.
I got it, coming.
Mistakes happen right at the start, and it's not too hard to miss once you see it. The anchor in SpongeBob's hat is bigger on the reflection of the table than it is on his head. When Squidward gets ran over by the rock, watch his eyes. It might be hard to see in real time, but slow down. You can see his eyes turn the same color as his skin for a second. That's just one of many little goofs on the creator's part. Near the end of the episode, the pizza is finally delivered.
You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying!
As the rude customer is speaking, look at where the top of his fin meets his head. As he moves forward, it disconnects slightly from his body. Right after, a heartbroken SpongeBob falls to the ground crying. When he does so, his feet are facing sideways, but in the next shot, they're facing upright. Funnily enough, at the end of the episode, we see that the customer's house was right across the street from the Krusty Krab all along. This is hilarious, but the chum bucket is supposed to be across the street, not the customer's house. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe, then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. See you there.